What's up, everybody out there on the internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that we're streaming. I'm Yogi Chris, IMC Nation here at IMC Eden, main base here at in Las Vegas, where we moved with AZD. You guys follow this account for AZD. That's the tattooed guy with all the wisdom about relationships and life that you see all the clips and everything. And that's why you follow this account. It's hashtag IMC Nation. He's the founder. I'm the captain and historian. So I'm not going to show you all the pictures and everything, tattoos, etc. So it's a real movement that guys moved here to Las Vegas to master the game. And if you've not heard of the game, then you're way behind as a man, way, way behind on one of the most important cultural evolutions ever in the history of humanity is the idea of game. But what AZD has done, and I got to start there with a lot of people because that's the tangible 3D reality of what he's doing. He's way beyond that, and what we do is way beyond just game and pickup. Uh, it's essential. It's just so minimal. It would be like seeing a really, 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 really big circle, a huge circle the size of the sun, like so big, and you're just zoomed in on like a little segment of it, and it makes it look like the segment's a line, but it's not a line because you're missing the whole big circle. Game and pickup is part of a big circle of life, and to do what AZD does with seven girlfriends or eight girlfriends or whatever, and he's had multiple relationships for so long, to do that is much bigger than game. It's literally the cliche if you got to be a well-rounded guy or whatever. They don't know what that means when they say that, but it points to a fact that you got to have something going for you. And it's not what you think. You don't have to have the billion-dollar business and the cars and the house and all of that to have relationships with beautiful women. But you got to have something. And so I posted like the title of this or whatever because sometimes guys, guys are interesting. I joined IMC about 10 years ago, and the state of the art 10 years ago was different than it is now. I don't know how I would have resonated with it if I was just now being exposed to how it is. And how it is now is so similar of what it was. It's just it wasn't exposed or developed as much, and the students weren't the same. And so there's a big gap between AZD, this tattooed guy with multiple beautiful girlfriends, somewhere on YouTube that maybe you go and meet or you take an online training from him or whatever, versus now he's in person all the time. We're in Vegas, and IMC guys that just found this AZD guy on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, live together now for years, not just like passing each other in a hotel room because we show up to a boot camp in Las Vegas. But like we pay bills, we go out together, we work out together, we fight together in some cases. And that's amazing. That's such an evolution. And it's a testament to the evolution of what's actually being taught and the expression of it and the development of it. If I had seen a base and a movement and a team in Las Vegas, but I was just ordinary dork that I was 10 years ago, that when I got exposed to game or 11 years ago, then it's hard to imagine. I think I would have jumped into it, but it's hard to imagine. So what AZD does that makes that possible is a high level of what we would call alchemy, the ability to transform darkness into light or lead into gold. But darkness of character, dark emotions, dark mindset, dark talk, grammar, negative thinking, complaint, mindset, victim, all that stuff to transform, not to be a therapist, but to actually transform yourself and others and constantly be bringing people up. Because some of the truths that we've discovered being so immersed in the game for so many years is that the world, the planet, the culture, and society is a very dark and suppressive uh, program. It's like a software program. It just kind of keeps you down. You get to a certain level, you could maybe ascend with money, and that has its own, roadblocks and speed bumps and things like that that you got to overcome. But it's a very, let's say, the world won't discourage you from getting a lot of money. Some people will. You'll have haters in your life, and rich people, people that make it big, will tell you about that. Like, the people that thought supported them and they got wealthy and everybody wanted a handout or they were greedy or thought that they had something to do with it when they didn't help or whatever. They didn't support me when I was new. Like, you'll overcome that. But in the end, everyone will applaud you for being so wealthy. They may criticize your character or say you were ruthless or something, but, you know, unless you were backhanded or, doing some Illuminati dark shit to get rich, like everybody wants to be rich. And that's the darker secret of women in relationships. Everybody wants to have the most beautiful women, all guys, and all guys want to have multiple women. Maybe one in 1,000 don't. Like legitimately don't. Many will say they don't, but when exposed to two girls at the same time, or if their girlfriend was okay with it, they probably don't even have a girlfriend, or just upon deeper questioning and like in a safe space, almost all men, if not all men, I just give the one in 1,000, like just to say, maybe somebody. Just like somebody, there are people that will hate Trump forever and ever and ever and ever. He could save all the babies in the world and rescue the tax system and everything. And some people will just, he's always a criminal to them, despite all evidence, whatever. Okay. Some people will never, some guys will never admit that they want multiple women, but most guys will. And the fact that even so, you'll have snakes in the grass, you'll have haters around you. You start getting better with women, you get two girls, you get three girls, you be a ladies' man, you're charming. Now you'll have all kinds of miscalibration. You'll be uncalibrated. You'll uh just be too charming around your friend's girlfriend. It kind of violates him. And really, you should have had it more, should have been a little more respectful if you considered him your friend. Or you hit on your friend's mom or something. You do dumb shit when you get better at game. But then you start to see, oh, I have power, and then you need responsibility and ethics. And the thing about it is, once you get all the women, still most guys will not applaud you. They'll still hate. They'll still want it. That's the thing about the money. On the money side of things, most guys will admit that they want it. On the women's side of things, most guys will not admit that they want it. Not publicly. And privately, a lot of them, you'll have to pull the teeth from them to get them to admit it. But it's not you bully them into it or like put words in their mouth. They'll say it. It's just you'll have to go through the effort of asking the right questions because they're so afraid. Guys are afraid to admit that they want multiple women. And so what AZD is doing with straight Jedi powers, shifting a feeling inside and completely changing how the environment responds, how the girl is feeling, how multiple, I mean, that's the thing. You got to see how he does it. And just the results so consistently, hundreds of times going to clubs in Vegas and 100% of the time killing it in a different way. It's just you can't anticipate it because there's so many random variables, but it always somehow creates magic. There's always a fire made, even if the wood was wet, it was raining, it was snowing, it was too cold, there was no wood. Somehow you take the dirt and the rocks and make a fire, and all of a sudden there's a wood fire. And you're like, where'd you get the wood? But dug up some petrified wood. Like, who knows how he does it? But everywhere we go, there's magic eventually. He has a way of being patient and slow, and that's just the mechanics of it. What he would say, and when you learn from him and you go through the trainings and you get more enlightened to this stuff, is it's just straight alchemy. It's just transforming what is going in and what you put out and how what you put out affects what is ultimately going to come back in. Cause and effect, karma, all that stuff. But it's an actual application of it that results in the thing that all men want. And yet, he's not teaching how to get girls. You could say he's teaching multiple relationships, but he's very rarely really even teaching on that. He's teaching mindset and transforming how you see yourself and how you see the world. Arguably for multiple relationships because he's giving you the perspectives of that. But I'll tell you, as you go deeper into the philosophy, it's just more and more and more truth about how the mind works, how the genetic code is, how human nature, what it really is, and how the world is suppressing you from just expressing your nature. You're not hurting anyone, harming anyone, lying to anyone, any more than a girl that wears a push-up bra is lying about how perky your boobs are, who shaves her arms is lying about how hairless she is. Like, to that degree, but that's not anything. It's almost expected. Like, I would be disappointed if the woman wanted to be so honest with me that she wouldn't wear a bra and never shaved. Just because she's trying to be honest with me, I don't have to be honest with you to that degree. But, you know, be honest that you're a girl, right? You're really a girl, right? And, you know, all the other things that are important for a relationship, be honest. So, those are the candy trophies that in AZD's system of teaching and living actually contributes to your evolution, your growth, your development of how you handle life, how you communicate, how you reply to certain responses, how you navigate or negotiate situations, coordinations, cooperations. In business, you go to the bank, at the grocery store, at your, if you go train fighting, the gym, wherever you find yourself, your kid's parent, teacher conference, like everywhere that communication and conversation that you're going to be negotiating, you, you just have to see the truth that the male female dynamic is running the show. It's under it. And then on top of it is this countercurrent. You have the deep ocean current going this direction, that's human nature. And if you're aligned with it, then it's effortless because the deep ocean current will take you where you need to go. You just relax. You don't even have to paddle. But everybody is paddling against the deep ocean current to try to get somewhere off course, off their nature. And so you always have to exert that horsepower. And if you choose to live that life, then that's fine. But if you're not choosing, if you're just ignorant of the deep ocean current, which is where most guys are, fully ignorant. Some guys are a little bit less ignorant, but still fully ignorant of the truths of human nature. They may have some book smarts. They read an evolutionary psychology book and somewhere they read Rollo Tomasi and hypergamy and okay, women upgrade or whatever, and they think they know human nature. Okay, you know one datum. That's like saying you read in a book when you punch, you rotate your fist. And so I know how to punch and now go and fight. And let's see how you apply that. You don't know it. You just read a sentence that resonated because it was true. So you, of course, you take it, it's true. But did that really improve your game? What did you do with it? The results, the proof is in the pudding. I never knew if that was like putting, like put it up, like put something somewhere, proof is in the pudding, or proof is in the pudding, like vanilla pudding, banana pudding. It kind of does a double thing for me. So, what do you guys think about that? There's several of you online right now. Where are you at with game? These ideas of game that, oh, I named this stream, Jesus, 15 minutes, didn't even get to the topic, is how much is a girlfriend worth? You know, I feel like every time that I come with a topic, I have to give all this backstory and context. Because I feel like guys don't see the value. And it's not that there is no value. It'd be like somebody looking at gold and thinking it's copper, or just thinking it's fool's gold. It's a rock that's painted gold. Like they just don't see the value in real relationships, not pursuing relationships, not chasing women, not looking for a bigger lay count, but real relationships where you know how you know you and you're with you. Do you ever have like a brother or sister growing up and it's like there were moments where it was like, really, there's another being and we're family and like they're going through their experience. You had like a moment, like it was real. It may have been pleasure or not, but it was real. You know, like a real relationship with a pretty woman that now you're an adult, you're not a kid. She's looking for you to lead her through life. Do you know that's her human nature? That she can't avoid it. That's the deep ocean current. That if she goes independent woman for her life, the current is still flowing that way. She's seeking guidance from a wiser, stronger man that can ensure her survival and safety. She's yearning for it deeply. So, to see the importance that you as a man are yearning to lead a woman just as much. It's human nature. It's male, female. What do you think? They're complements. They're equal but opposite. Not that a man and a woman are equal and opposite, but the male and the female, the interaction, it balances out over all the masculinity, over all the femininity, and then it grows. They produce more masculine, feminine robots called kids. So, how important that is that you have a need to lead a woman or women and grow your family. That if you don't do that, you're always going to be scratching an itch where it doesn't exist in the wrong place. You're going to be always going against the current because if you knew that the current was going that way, then you would go that way while you build your business. You do it all at the same time because you're going to have to change directions later. You've built so much business and now you got to change your character, change your personality, change all your communications with all your employees and everybody because you start to understand human nature and you can't just be asexual with everybody, all politically correct and polite and this and that. You can do that and a woman will get with you because you're so polite, so respectful, and obviously you have a lot of money. But then try to get a second girl. And you're like, I don't want a second girl. Bro, you fantasize how long are you going to fuck that same girl before you want another girl? 2 years, 10 years? How long? Guys don't have reality on any success with women, and we're talking from a spaceship. Most guys haven't even invented the bicycle yet. They don't have the wheel. They just invented running. They're like jogging. They invented sandals so they can run. And I'm in a spaceship, and it's just the evolution of the technology to transport yourself. The shoe became the whatever, I don't know, the wheel, however it was all put together. It all ultimately came together, and it's just the technology of transportation. So a spaceship comes by that just like interdimensional travel, even a plane or a car, like compared to somebody that just invented the sandal. Like they don't necessarily only have a sandal, but they're aware cars exist. They in their culture just invented the sandal because it helps them, a little piece of leather from an animal, a string goes through a hole around the toe and around the heel, and boom. Now I got something to protect the rocks and the cactuses and everything as I run, and snakes and shit. And you'd be able to walk and run faster, longer, more durable. You know what I mean? The technology of transportation. Imagine that's just as far as they've gotten. When did humans invent sandals? A million years ago? 50,000 years ago? A long time ago. So take whenever that time was and now put them next to someone who just has a bicycle. What the hell is that? All those moving parts of metal like this and that, let alone a spaceship, which is just the evolution of the same impulse to travel. And now AZD comes in with his game. And you are just as capable of flying the airplane as you are of being born a baby, a dumbass baby in a tribe. You, that could be at whatever level of education and smartness you are, you could have, as a baby, been taken and raised by a tribe and not know anything about anything else except the sandals and the bow and arrow and whatever technology you're exposed to. But physically, arms, communication, mind, you're as capable as the man who's flying the fighter jet or running the nation. It's two arms, two legs, language, voice box. Like you're just as help. Like you have the same potential, but what you're raised in. So AZD comes with his level of game, but you're raised in the culture that keeps you the most dumb, retarded, backwards man. And then AZD comes with spaceship level, interdimensional travel level game. But real. Two arms, two legs, a voice, a head, the same anatomy, same. He's just the same as you, but grew up, guess what? The same as you, but was exposed to certain teachers, and then him with his own. Who knows all the pieces that came together? But there's definite teachers, there's teachings, there's lineages to wake you up, including game. Game is one of those, including evolutionary psychology, including understanding mind control and what happens with words and the culture. And those things definitely come together, including fighting that makes you very aware of space, survival value, just your raw ability to protect a woman hand to hand, or just using tools or implements, extending into spaces like it's raw survival value that a woman actually doesn't even know she's missing until she finds a guy that has it. That's why if you were IMC Nation and you get out, you have to get the fuck far away. Because if you and your girl ever come across an IMC guy, he will exude more survival value than you because he's being trained in how to space, how to be aware of your role as a man all the time, 24/7, so that when the woman is on your arm, you never lose your role. And the role is being defined by a man who has seven girlfriends for over 18 years, 16 years, something. And new girls have come, old girls, they've had many relationships, but the level of perspective of his game would be that of somebody riding a bicycle telling somebody that just invented the sandal, hey, like if you use that other vine, it's a stronger string than the vine you're using. And they get it. Okay, they just upgraded their sandal. And then you say, okay, well, if you put a piece of wood under that piece of leather, it lasts 10 times longer. Oh, shit. And it's like, okay, if you just wrap this wood around and you make a wheel now, or a rock, you file it down. Now you can roll your thing and you get there a lot faster. You can carry more. Then you can hook it up to a horse and whoa, dude. And then, and then what? All the other technology, build a fire, melt the iron, dig it out of the ground, mold it, okay, carve it in a stone, make a peg out of it, okay, put all the pegs together, now you have a wheel, and make the gears and you make a bicycle. Okay, you can guide someone of the same physical and mental abilities to build the technology that you have to have a bicycle. And if you could live long enough and you knew enough, you could teach them internal combustion engine, you could teach them, how to make a plane. If you live forever, you could teach them eventually. If they live forever, also. And you knew. So enter AZD. The structure of the relationship is such when you see him in field, you'll see how fast he moves with a girl. And he's not doing much. He's not moving her fast. The way he's communicating, because that's all relationships are. It's communication and agreements. The girl you want, you got to talk to her, and she's got to talk back. And you talk back and forth, and eventually that talking leads to dates and fucking and kids and family and divorce and all that. It was all talking with some physical, but physical is communication too. Body language, touch. It's just all communicating something. So AZD's level of communication, considering it's all those things, voice, tone, words, touch, what you wear, how you smell, all these things, that they're all a communication. And then awareness of the other person and what needs to be perceived by the other end moves the relationship so fast from meet to real relationship. It's not meet to sex. That could be done super fast, but that doesn't result in relationships. That's why all the pickup and dating coaches you're following are building really bad habits in you. They're building in you a bicycle that's going to crash and you're going to injure yourself and you're not going to want to learn from another alien because you're going to build a fucked up bicycle for yourself. But enter AZD who doesn't fuck anybody up. It's just his standards are so high, it's hard for people to learn from him, and he doesn't give a fuck. So enter Yogi Chris, who tries to make it easier for you to learn from him. Fill in the gaps, soften the teachings, disperse it so that, the right warrior will come across it and be like, the right warrior will come across it and be like, I need to learn from this guy. And that's what I am. Like, you got to take the dings, take the hits, and keep moving because that seems to be the only way to move fast with this thing. So guys will come in, they'll get a little bit, they may get out. They can't move that fast, but man, do they upgrade their life forever. Because once you see an ET, once you see an extraterrestrial, once you see a spaceship, for real, when you see it, when you touch it, when it's real, maybe you never see another one again, but you're forever changed. You will never doubt. You will laugh at people that doubt. You will see the news differently. You will see movies differently. You'll know who knows and who doesn't know that they're pretending to know. You'll know something once you see it for real. And when you see AZD's game for real, when you feel it, when you're out with them and you feel the love with the new girls, not girlfriends. You're not, bro, the longer you're around him, the more you'll see how he makes girlfriends because you'll see the girls he meets become girlfriends eventually. Some of them, real girlfriends, 7 girlfriends. And he's been up to 13 when I was living with him. And he was up to 17 before that. And it fluctuates. And it's not that the numbers go down, it's that they get tighter, better. Better, man. The girls make more money than I do. And they only work with women. With women. Tattoo, fitness, whatever they do, only women. They interact with no guys. Okay, so I labeled this stream. What's a girlfriend worth? Well, first define what's a girlfriend to you. Just someone you're fucking? Okay, what about if she's not fucking anybody else? There needs to be more participation for me to get deeper and deeper into that. But what's a girlfriend worth? Bro, you're gonna spend some money on a girl. You're gonna take her on a date. And then I don't know what you think is going to happen. You're going to marry her at some point. You just keep dating and dating and dating and dating. And at some point, you're dating. You're spending things. You're buying movies. You're buying food. You maybe live together. You're paying for some of the rent. You get married. You pay for whatever you pay for with that, gifts and rings and forever and ever and ever. Christmas, birthdays, whatever. You're going to pay, and you'd be like, "Well, I pay for a friend." Yeah, but you don't. You don't pay that much for friends. You pay for your girlfriend, ultimately. Now, she's going to ruin your life and destroy it, and you probably won't even get a girlfriend. Most guys out there, I think, are going to end up not having girlfriends their whole life. I think it's really, really bad out there. The girl, if you get a girlfriend, is going to be so hideous, you're never really going to consider her your girlfriend. You'll say it, but like, I think most guys, meaning more than half of guys, are going to end up girlfriendless that don't study AZD IMC. You'll have sex throughout your life and probably prostitutes and maybe some real perversion, and that's a shame because it doesn't need to happen. Uh, but I think more than half of guys, Western guys, American guys that I'm exposed to from 20 to 45 or something, are just going to end up from now until the end of time without a girlfriend because you lack so much awareness of the reality of women. And the thing is, so you're going to spend money dating girls, trying. Maybe you get married, you're going to spend money, and she's going to crash you and ruin you. or you're going to be just totally weak the rest of your life with her and she's going to crash and ruin you, just not without leaving you. She'll stay with you and probably cheat on you. Or she's too ugly to even, and even then somebody will fuck her. And she will. Because she needs it. She's not getting it from you. She'll just beat you down until she's totally unattracted to you and then use you till the end of your days, the end of her days. And she'll get whatever she wants that she can. If she's ugly again, she doesn't have access to everything. But uh and then you're really gonna lose out. And now take all that, and now if you got out of that somehow early enough and you could date another girl, some guys will get a second girlfriend. You're gonna spend money on her. If you got out of that, a third girlfriend, a fourth girlfriend, maybe you get married, maybe you get divorced, get married again. Maybe another, maybe at some point you try to date two girls. And all the while you're gonna be spending money on every girl to date her. Never mind if you spend your money on a fucking vacation. Jesus, just throwing money away. All kinds of dumb stuff. You're just going to keep spending money. You'll grow and evolve as you get more experience, but you'll age, your energy will change, your testosterone will change, the access to women will change. Now, you could take all that money that you'd be spending the rest of your life on all those failing relationships and just look around you. I mean, you could say this is a sales gimmick, you're just framing it as that or whatever. Okay, look around. It's like I was telling the girl last night, it was it's one of the just like darkest secrets of Earth that everyone thinks there's such a thing as an ideal man and an ideal woman. And yet everywhere everyone's failing at relationships. It's like everywhere somebody holds in mind that there's the right one for me and it'll just be perfect. And it won't include all my complaints that I have about my exes and everybody else that failed. And yet everybody's failing at their relationships. So like, did nobody figure it out? Is everybody just going on a hope? Yeah, they're going on a hope. They were fed, it's called mass mind control. They're going on a hope. You got to improve yourself in the mating market and then have standards and know how to lead as a guy. I'm not talking to girls right now. So as a guy, you have to improve your value. You have to be out there, improve your value in the mating market, which is different than your portfolio and your net worth. It really, really is. There are billionaires that come to these clubs in Vegas, and the girls will go with them and get 10,000, 20,000, whatever, and then they'll come talk to me or they'll come talk to us. Now, that doesn't mean I'll make her a girlfriend. That doesn't even mean I'm hooking up with some of those girls. But the reality is, I'm paying you nothing and you're coming to me, and he's paying you everything, and you're probably dogging on him the whole time, kicking him in the balls, talking shit to him, teasing him in ways that I would never tolerate. And what's that feel like as a woman to just like talk down to a man who's paying you so much money? Fuck, that must be so. And then, do you have a son? You like, what are you gonna turn around and do to your like? So this is very healing. You have to heal your ability to relate with women so that you can heal the planet and all your people, all your family and everything. You'll be a beacon of truth of the dynamic between men and women. The nature is being lost and erased in all the mind control. And it's not just about saving people. You need those fulfilling relationships for you too, because you will evolve so far, so fast in that dynamic. And with AZD's guidance, you won't fail. You won't fail. If with AZD's guidance, you'll get a girl, you'll either keep her or lose her. If you lose her with AZD's guidance, you will literally fill the void right away. If you get out of the game, if you quit because you're all sad, or if you left because you got a girlfriend and then she leaves you, you won't replace her. That'll be the best you ever get. But if you stay IMC, the truth is, when you get rid of the girl, the space is filled with another girl. Every time. Because the philosophy protects itself. It's just the way he's not by accident. His seven girlfriends are not by accident, bros. And you got to work out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. When's the last time you got close to even two girlfriends? When's the last time you got close to one girlfriend? That's the thing. You're so far out of touch with what's possible is you're still, with stone axes, and I'm over here with, you know, a a drone excavator. I'm like running an excavator from way over here, and you're over there like digging with your hands or a rock. And you're digging. That's your level of technology with women because you just haven't learned. And whatever you think you've learned is wrong because it's not working. Just look at who you learned from, the guru or the authority, the movie reference, wherever you learned anything, the pimp, wherever you learned anything, and look at where they're at right now. The quality of women, the quality of relationship. You learned some shit information. And the fact that you think you know something when you know wrong information makes you even worse off than the ignorant person. The person who knows nothing will have an easier time learning the truth. So you got to start. You got to start, and not with me, not on these streams. This is not where to start. The start is in the descriptions of all these videos or the bios or whatever. You click and get involved. The freest and easiest is the newsletter, the free newsletter, IMC, AZD content. Get a bunch of emails. Check your emails. It's amazing. The content in my newsletter is amazing and will awaken you a lot. And then, YouTube, all these streams, whatever, Telegram groups, and eventually you sign up for something. You got to buy something. Like the game is taught in paid programs. Obviously, this probably awakens something in you. I've been learning from AZD for years. I should be able to spit some wisdom, but you want to transform because you need to transform. You want the end result. And to do that, you got to transform. It takes a lot of philosophy, but it takes putting some things into practice. And what things is that? Well, you got to learn from AZD, man. That's what this is. Keep watching the clips and freeloading all you want, changing and upgrading your life all you want, bros. Bros, you are spending money on dumb shit. You're spending money on food you don't need, coffee you don't need, alcohol you don't need, weed you don't need. You're spending money on video games you don't need, porn you don't need, technologies you don't need, school you don't need, like nothing. You're spending money on very little that you need, but you're not spending money on your game, and that's what's going to break you in the end is your lack of game. So that's a dark, dark secret. Everywhere, everybody thinks that it'll happen, and yet no one has it happened for the good relationship, the righteous relationship. And so, guys, the dark secret is they want games so desperately, but they refuse to pay for it because they think they're so entitled. They're little liberal girls thinking that they should just know. It should be given to them. They should just know game. I'll be rather be bitter and resentful of my dad and older brother for never not having friends growing up and nobody ever teaching me game. I'd rather sit in my resentment than go through the uh, ego transformation to recognize that you suck with women, your personality sucks, you're socially not good, and you got to change. And how do you change is you're going to have to invalidate yourself. You are wrong. You're not doing it right. You can't, but you're right in that you want to change, but your habits are wrong. They're not resulting in what you want. You have to see that you're not resulting in what you want. And you got all your grand plans and whatever, and you're gambling with your life. Time keeps ticking by, your habits keep solidifying more and more, harder to teach an old dog new tricks, and you're still getting the results. And it's getting worse. That's why I say now I would predict 50% or more of guys from now on are not going to have real relationships for their whole life. They're not going to have a single real girlfriend the rest of their life. It's a shame. So how important is it for you? Get involved, guys. I don't know why everybody's so shy, whatever, but click the description link, get in the newsletter, get on the Telegram groups, it's all there. And find me on Instagram, IMC Base number one, IMC Base one, or AZD IMC Nation. Send a DM. I got all kinds of exclusive content. You should see the truth for yourself. I'm not here to say buy, 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 buy. I'm here to say, here's some content. What'd you think of this? Here's some content. What'd you think of this? It'll awaken in you. AZD is the example and he's the salesman. I'm just a messenger. And he doesn't sell at all. He never talks about buying. The sell happens in when you learn from him and you hear the teachings, you will want to buy. And so it's like, well, I don't have any money to buy. Does that mean you don't want the wisdom? Well, if I only have, if I have to buy, if I didn't say you have to buy. I said you'll want to buy. And if you can't afford it, then you'll work to get it. Because the truth will reveal itself and you'll see, wow, this guy knows the truth. And as I listened to him, I really got better. And I want more of this. Because when you awaken to your power as a man, that anywhere you go in the world, any time of day, if there's people, you win. You know how to interact. You know how to make them laugh. You know how to be liked. And naturally, the women gravitate towards you. And just plop yourself down for any amount of time. And pretty soon, you leverage those connections. And you'll have doors open to you that would have taken someone else a whole lifetime of friendship building to get those doors open to them. And you can do that anywhere, at all times, forever. Game. It can't be taken from you. You know how to negotiate your interviews, your job hirings. You know how to negotiate conflict in your relationship, illness and death in the family. Communication is what AZD is teaching. True alchemy and Jedi powers of communication. So start with the free stuff and let me convince you with AZD content. Because if it's possible and you could do it, do you want it or are you content not having it? Obviously, I'm not for that guy. I'm for the guy that wants to be the best. Your communication will give you your future destiny, how you interact with people. And if you see a bright future destiny for yourself, let me help you communicate better to get that because it's more or less hopeless. You'll have to work all your life to become so valuable in some skill like a programmer or a new app you created or something, and then people will love you for that thing. You still won't have game. Women will still use you and still devastate you, like Jeff Bezos, like Bill Gates. Women divorced them, took half their billions. What? So become the best and the richest in everything, and that's not game. That's not going to do it. You're scratching the itch in the wrong place. Got to get involved. You got to start. Who is this? I'm Yogi Chris, Captain of IMC Nation. This is a stream for AZD, IMC Nation founder. That's what these accounts are. So check it out. I didn't see any other comments. So I'll just end it, guys. Salute. Be the best. Fuck the rest. Click the link in the description's bios.